it's overwhelming, but it's also our jobs.
Our job is only going to get harder.
It's worrisome.
This is something that's unprecedented.
Now is not the time to be a cowboy. No one has anything to prove. We're all in this together.
Welcome to reporting from the Frontline of a Pandemic. I'm Katie Rhee, and I'm here with Jill Gearin, the Director of Broadcasting and the Media Manager of the Visalia Rawhide, the Advanced A team of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Thanks, Jill, for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Katie.
Awesome. So I hope you're staying safe, but my first question for you is, how have you had to adjust the way that you work? Obviously, baseball is no longer being played, but how has that changed for you?
Yeah, so it's been a crazy few weeks for me. I'm on day 23 from working from home. So I was actually in Lexington for a woman broadcasting sports panel. And when I got back from Kentucky, our ownership called me and said, we do not want you in the office because you are on an airplane. So I was not allowed to go into the office for a week. And then once my time was up, that was when we found out that baseball was going to be postponed and we didn't have a date. So it got pretty crazy from there. 3 days after the postponement announcement, I went down to LA to be with my parents during the stay-at-home order. So working from home from 23 days is not easy. Obviously, with baseball being postponed, that really changes the way I'm working. I'm not preparing for game days. I'm trying to keep our fans as engaged as possible during this time. So I run all of our social media accounts. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So just trying to stay relevant, trying to collect as much revenue as possible because we are a business, we need to get money, and just trying to be as helpful in the community as well.
And so you talk a lot about keeping your fans engaged and making sure that they have content and that they're not missing baseball too much. So what kind of messages have you got from them?
They're all really excited to have baseball start back up again. Visalia has an amazing fan base, especially for a minor league team. We're 3 hours from San Francisco, 3 hours from LA. So even if they are Giants fans or Dodgers fans, they don't really get to go to those games very often. So we're kind of the only professional team that they can go see, and we're the only professional team in the entire county. So it's a lot of fun for us to have those type of fans. They're being really supportive. At first, the Central Valley in California was not excited about the stay-at-home order. They're very gung-ho about this is America, I can do what I want, but they kind of started to slowly see this is a very serious issue, and they started to support minor league baseball's initiative as well there. So they've been good. We're trying to keep the kids with activities. We have coloring pages for them, word searches, a lot of different things like that, but just trying to keep them as engaged as possible.
And so you talked about a little bit earlier about the front office of your team telling you that they didn't want you in the office due to the fact that you've been on an airplane. So what other types of precautions has the front office, the team itself, how have they been taking precautions to keep everyone safe?
Mm-hmm. Well, they've been very forward with us. I know of other minor league teams who have laid off people. They have cut people's salaries, and our ownership from the get-go said, we are not going to do that to you. We need every single one of you during this pandemic, and it's been amazing. And this is also our ownership's first year as a minor league baseball team owner. So crazy year for them. One of our owners, he actually is a pharmaceutical researcher, so he knows a lot about this and kind of saw the trend this was going. So we started taking precautions and making sure those of us who traveled were being safe. He canceled everyone's work trips. We started to have deep cleaning. He wanted everyone to go to the doctor to make sure that their health was good. And once we started seeing how serious this is going to be, that was when he started saying, we can't have you guys being in the office. We want you guys to be as safe as possible.
And so going off of that, you said that you've got, excuse me, a bunch, not a bunch, but a lot of information from your owners. So how has your team dealt with not only covering this news, but reacting to this news?
Right. So I think the biggest difficulty for us is Visalia and all minor league teams. We are owned by someone else. We are affiliated with the Diamondbacks, but we are owned by an independent company, First Pitch Entertainment. It's a family-owned organization. but we rent the ballpark from the city of Visalia. So we have to keep the city, the Diamondbacks, and of course the ownership company happy. So we have to make sure that we are giving the correct information to our fans, but we also do not want to step on the city's toes or the Diamondbacks or minor league baseball or Major League Baseball. So what we've been doing is creating our own messages to the fans saying why we are following what minor league baseball is suggesting and saying we are closing our offices, we are not letting fans in right now, we are not letting you go to the team store to buy merchandise. So we've been doing our own individual messages that I've been making, or rather writing, and then having our GMs proofread it, our ownership read it before we post it on social media and the website. And then I'm also sharing everything that minor league baseball and Major League Baseball are putting on social media and making sure that that is going on our website as well. So we're trying to keep the message as consistent as possible.
Awesome. And so what has been the hardest thing about not only, I guess, not covering this pandemic, but being in the midst of it in what would have been the beginning of the baseball season?
Yeah, so what today's March 31st. Right now, I should be working a 12-hour day at the ballpark, running around, getting my game notes ready for my broadcast. I should be learning these players, starting to reach out to the ones who are returning, reaching out to the new ones to get to know them, reaching out to media personnel to come cover opening day. I mean, I should be getting ready for baseball and I should be getting excited. And instead, I'm still working just as hard. It's not 12-hour days, but it's just trying to stay busy and trying to stay relevant while we're waiting for baseball to start. So I think that's the difficulty for me. And speaking kind of more candid is I did this to broadcast baseball. That's what I want to do with my career. And right now that's put on hold. So personally, that's really hard to kind of stay motivated right now during this.
I definitely feel those sentiments. But another question for you is, what has surprised you the most about this time and working from home and the content that you've been putting out for the Visalia Rawhide?
I think we really see how much community matters. I think everyone throughout the United States is coming together and it's amazing to see, but specifically in Visalia. Visalia is a very proud city, so is the Central Valley. And we had a hashtag created for this year called Community of Champions. And that went off of our 2019 championship and also with how involved we are in the community and how the community is so close. So we're trying to really build off that. So we're posting our local restaurants, our sponsors. We're saying that you need to go donate blood, and we're seeing people go and do that. And we're seeing this community really come together, and being able to have baseball be a part of that is really nice for me. I actually remember when the Boston Marathon bombing happened. That was when I was a junior in high school. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I want to go into sports journalism. I don't know how much of an impact I can make. But then seeing how the city of Boston rallied around the World Series champions, the Boston Red Sox that year, and how the Boston Strong message was so important. It's moments like these where sports really is a huge part of the community, even though we aren't playing any sports right now. It's just so big, and it just shows that it's bigger than one person and one team.
Definitely. And I do very strongly believe that you've had a very big impact on these Visalia Rawhide fans. So what have you missed the most, or what has been the most different about this time?
So I've only been out of college for 2 years now. So I've been a part of a team my entire life, ever since I played Little League when I was 6, played softball in high school and college, immediately went to work for the Red Sox where they won the World Series, and then went to work for the Rawhide, and they won the Cal League championship. So
You have a pretty good record there, Jill.
Oh, if we win in 2020, the Mets better be calling me, the Mariners better be calling me. But
I'm looking forward to it, waiting for that announcement.
But I think what's difficult for me personally is I've always been a part of a team. And even though I'm not around the baseball team. And it's hard for my mental health right now. I mean, as an athlete too, softball was my outlet. Baseball, becoming a part of the team, was my outlet. And I'm struggling with that a little bit. So I kind of need to keep myself involved in the community as much as possible to make myself still feel like a part of the team.
And so you are in LA currently right now?
Mm-hmm.
So you're under stay-at-home orders. how have you been, I guess, trying to cope with your mental health? Have you picked up a softball bat yet? I know that you played in college. Definitely remember watching some of your games.
Yeah, so I'm trying to stay as active as possible, whether it's taking my dog for a walk because you can still go for walks under the stay-at-home order. Trying to do that, working out in my garage. I'm lucky that we have a deck that I can do yoga on or Pilates, but just trying to stay as active as possible because that is what I'm used to. Uh, as far as mental health, at least I'm staying busy because running a social media campaign when that's the only thing that a team can do, it keeps you very, very busy. So I don't have too much time to think about the scary stuff going on in the world right now, but it's taking a toll on me, especially because we're going to have this until at least April 30th. So I have 30 more days left, but everyone's in it together. And
Baseball.
yeah, hopefully more baseball soon. I'm going to be so happy when first pitch happens.
Me too. And so what is your advice for anyone wanting to go into broadcast journalism? I know that you are a broadcast journalist. I remember seeing you my freshman year. So what advice do you have for anyone?
I think just keep working at it. I am extremely fortunate to have had the opportunities that I had with the Tim Neverett internship with the Red Sox in 2018 to having this opportunity with the Rawhide because of an Emerson grad, Julian Rifkin, who's now one of our general managers. He got me in touch with the GM at the time who hired me. I think just really keeping at it, making sure you're networking, writing thank you notes after every internship, sending emails, keeping in touch with people is really important. All that good stuff that all your professors say is true. And I think don't give up on yourself. Right now is a hard time to be someone who wants to break into that field, especially with no sports and people are being laid off and everything right now. It's hard, but I think just stick at it. I remember sophomore year, I thought about going into marketing instead of journalism because I thought it'd be easier to work in sports as a sports marketing major rather than a sports journalism major. And Charles Steinberg, who's the president of the Pawtucket Red Sox, he told me, why are you giving up on your dream before you even tried? And that's something that has really stuck with me ever since I was 19. So I give that advice to those right now too. You have to try before you give up because otherwise you're going to regret it.
Yeah, I have Dr. Charles right now, and he is definitely trying to keep the spirits up, especially with their season being put on hold as well, and everyone's is. And so my last question for you is there anything else that you'd like to add, to tell us, words of wisdom from a softball and baseball guru?
Yeah, I think, keep your head up. I think one good thing that's happening right now is China is starting to go back to normal. We've seen that curve in Seattle start to go down, and they are one of the first states to do the stay-at-home order. This is going to end. This is not going to be the new normal. We will eventually go back to being able to go watch baseball, have the NBA, having March Madness. Seniors are going to be able to have their senior season again soon. So those sports fans out there, know that in order for your sports to come back, stay at home, stay positive, be safe, and the sooner we all do that, the sooner baseball and other sports will be back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jill, for taking the time to talk with me. And thank you for the work that you're doing to keep us informed and safe and to keep all those baseball fans out there up to date and entertained and engaged. And thank all of you for watching this episode of Reporting from the Frontline of the Pandemic. I've been talking with Jill Gearin. Please stay safe and have a great day. I'm Katie Rhee.